All right, guys, thanks for coming back to the channel. All right, that means a lot to me. Do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button so this video reach out to those who need to hear it. This is an urgent message. All right, I got a couple of stocks that I want you guys to check out. I'm gonna give you some guidance on it, give you my thoughts. All right, not financial advice, but I am a mentor and a coach. Again, I'm Coach UV, and this is the Unique Trading Group. All right, now I know what you guys came here for, and we're gonna get right into that. All right, Tesla, Amazon, BMNR. Right, these stocks, SPY, right, Nasdaq. These stocks are showing strength. Okay, and I think we're gonna squeeze, and we have a slingshot reversals. All right, one of the greatest squeezes you ever witnessed, and I want you guys to watch it play out. All right, because this data that's coming out is supposed to scare everybody, right? But I see a different story. All right, this message is recorded moments before the 4 o'clock bell on September 16th. So I'm going to show you what I got. I'm not going to hold you long. Thanks. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll be right back after this break. All right, now, right in front of you, we got Tesla. All right, Tesla, he needed to hold 420. All right, we got high time frame. All right, making these higher highs, of course. Right, we left from the high, which was 424. Right, we came back, we broke down to 410. We've curled ever since, and now we have high lows. That's the 4 hour. Now let's go to the daily. All right, some will call this the inside bar. Go to the weekly. Let's go to the weekly. You will definitely see the point when we're done. All right, now what do you see here on the weekly? All right, sometimes the higher time frame rules. This is my trade, this is my setup, this is my conviction, this is my edge. I do not deviate. All right, I like Tesla. Why? Simple, stupid. W. All right, W shape. Okay, let the bears try once and let them try twice. Once I see the bears are trying twice, okay, no matter how pretty the W look, that's when I know I got the bears. You understand? That W shape is right here. Let the bears try once and let them try twice, and we get that curl. Now, here's the key: entries and exits. Now, simple things you learn when you first trade. Here's one of those things. All right, you have higher lows on the trend line being bought. Okay. You see that right here, okay? What else do you have? You have a neckline right here, okay? You have a neckline, and the market is closed. It is 4 o'clock right now. The market just closed. We had a break over this moment here on May 27th, all right? I'm sorry, this was a high on May 27th, and we broke that just recently here now. And so this is why Tesla is making this move, because this is what the technical bear trap is. Right here, catching these lows for your entry, right? Taking partial profits here at the neckline and letting some run. We're trapping in liquidity and running those stops that were above here. Think about it. Somebody who shorted the market right here in this area, pay attention and stay with me right at the cursor. Somebody who shorted the market right here, they were supposed to take their profits in theory. This is human behavior, right? But somebody is taking their profits at the same time. And so as that is happening, right, it could be anything, right? I want you guys to think about human behavior, psychology, right? Somebody could have forgot to take their profits when they placed that put order for it to go down. They shorted the market, maybe something happened, who knows? Phone went dead, who knows what happened, but they missed their order to be able to get out. And so they scramble, try to take their profit, and then they start buying the market. Something can happen this way, all right? And then you have people who are trying to short here, take the market down once, they try again to take it all the way back down, but they fail, creating this higher low. That's the technical, that's the thinking behind that. Trap them here, run their stops. Their stops are above there, right above here, for them to attack the highs. 490 is the high. The next nice high I would like was 435, all right? All right, and we're already here at 420. So 430 and 440 is not really hard to imagine, is that? I don't think so. So we're going to pivot over. Remember I said BMNR? We're going to talk about Amazon. We got SPY. The market is closed right now. All right, we're teetering with that closing price. If anything opens above any of these closing prices, then we're going to see more bullish continuation. And remember, we got that data tomorrow. And data is just noise, all right? The news is noise. We want to react, not predict. Even though I have been predicting for a while here, it's only because I've been watching, all right, for a long, long time. And right here on Tesla, we have a gap, and we have this intraday continuation. It's going to be interesting to see what Tesla does. And from the look of it, right now, at the time of this recording, 402, Tesla is above its previous close. Now, let's move on. That is bullish. Let's get over to the SPY. What is SPY looking like? Let's see what we did on SPY. All right, so we closed at 659.94. All right, and now we are at 560. See, we are above the closing price, and that's bullish with a little bit of bearish divergence. It will be interesting to see what happens tomorrow with this data. All right, but stay tuned, stand by, because I think what we have here is a due pullback, right? But that doesn't mean we have to, because we haven't broken structure yet. And so as long as we don't break structure, me myself as a trader, I want to look for higher prices, 665, 662, 663, 670, right? That's the catalyst, that's the plan. All right, I am swinging BMNR, I am swinging SPY also, and I also swinging Wolf. All right, that's my take on the SPY. Let's move over to BMNR. All right, shout out to one of the Discord members. Okay, put this on the radar. Of course, crypto is running today. Got a lot of talk, a lot of things going on. All right, and so this got brought to my attention. I like what I see. Same thing on Tesla. This is the 1 hour though, so I see this formula, this setup that I like on a smaller time frame. I see this setup on Tesla on the weekly time frame. However, this is the 1 hour time frame on BMNR, and I like this W shape, this technical pattern where we have these high lows. All right, simple, keep it stupid. Same thing. All right, when I see my setup, I don't hesitate. All right, and I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. All right, now I'm still swinging. Made about 20-30% on some of those contracts today. All right, and so we're just waiting for the momentum, waiting for the move to play out. Sometimes trading is like watching paint dry. You have to establish a plan when you're trading, a trading plan. What does that mean in simple terms? You want to establish your entry, your exit, and your risk. And so if you're looking at a chart, for instance, like this BMNR, all right, let's use this chart as an example. All right, what's your trading plan? Let's say, for instance, we're looking for trends, right? A trend. Well, you can clearly see that this is right in front of you. All right, this right in front of you that I'm pointing out. This is the downtrend, right? Because we're going down, right? You know, bouncing off of the trend, falling down. We break it a little bit. All right, still fall back down, resisting this range here, right? Continue down, right? That's a trend down. But this right here is a trend up. So, right, you're establishing your trend, right, up, bouncing off the trend, Same thing from over here. You get my point? All right, so if you understand that, right, the next thing for you to be thinking about is, where's my entry and what's my risk and where's my exit, okay? So if this trend is over, right, and we're going to go on an uptrend, what do you want to see? Keep it simple, keep it stupid, all right? You want to see the trend break. All right, you want to see the trend break. We got a break here. We consolidate it. We continue higher. All right. Where is your risk? All right, and where's your exit? That's your entry. That's what you want to think about. Now we're using a 15-minute time frame. You can do this on whatever time frame you want, but this is the range. All right. So if you entered in right here, let's make this bigger just in case you guys can't see. I want you to see this. Appreciate you guys watching. Hope that is helpful so far. Smash that like button if so. All right, I got more content like this coming. If you have any questions at all about anything that you hear, anything you don't understand, or something you want me to talk about, a stock, maybe crypto, anything, all right, drop those comments down below. All right, I engage, I talk back. That's what it's about, networking, all right, and some solid information. All right, so let's get back to it here on the 15-minute time frame. Your entry is here. Now what's next? Your target and your risk. Like I said, if you enter in here, your risk will go below where you entered. So below here, all right? This is where your risk is, below here. Now, this is a tight stop. You're playing the range because why? It's breaking structure. You like structure, right? But we are still creating these lower right here, technically, right? Technically, all right? This price action broke this structure when you look at it, all right? This price action broke this trend, but we didn't fall all the way down. It was fair rotation. We held here at that range, all right? We held at that range. And so the fact that we held says that we have strength. That's what's simple about it. Your risk is below here, okay? Where's your target? Now let's think about that. Where's the target? And as you can see, If your risk is below here, obviously it didn't go that way. It went above. All right. Okay. Some people put their risk all the way down here, right? Some people trade that way. I mean, it's a good way to trade if you're bullish on something. You don't want to get stopped out, you know. However, but you can play market structure. Now, where is that target? You got a couple of them. I'll show you how that's fun to see it on the chart. How we create the pattern. We create the pattern on the chart because we are creating what we call synthetic orders. It's market mechanics. We're writing options. We have a trading plan, so we're mechanically trading. All right, and so when we're trading with an edge, all right, it's going to create patterns on the chart. Show you what I mean. We already established our entry, we established our risk. Then we're going to talk about our targets, and we haven't even talked about adding to the position, right, or position sizing, which position sizing is another conversation. But after here, all right, and it breaks. Let's say it breaks over our, we bought here and it finally starts to break. Your first target would be here at that range, that last range, all right, which was at $47. So that's a good $4 risk to reward. Just thinking that way, it got there, right? And people took profit. You see it right in front of you. Okay, it got to that area here, and folks took their profit. If you wanted to continue to play this, then what you would do is play the trend. You play the trend. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? This is what I mean by that. When you want to play the trend, you took your profits at that level we discussed. Right? Now, you can't play this trend if it's not there, right? Let's say, okay, coach, cool. You saying buy the dip. I obviously see where you're getting at, right? Buy the dip, right? If we wanted to get back in after we took profits. But you're absolutely right in assessing that. But you want to wait to see if we get a bounce here. All right? That bounce is not ironic. I can prove it because it already happened. Is it you think it's ironic that bounce happened right here at this previous zone where it consolidated before? No, it's typical, guys. I'm telling you, one of the most reliable trades in your life, man. I've been doing this a decade. Is a breakout pullback. All right, a breakout pullback, and I want this to be simple to you. This is a range, right? Price breaks out right here above this highest candle. Okay, it breaks out. It breaks out right here. Breakout at that last resistance we said we're gonna, get to, right? Taking their profit. Breakout, pullback. See? Breakout, taking a profit, pullback, right back to that same zone it broke out from. Breakout, pullback. Okay, this is what's going on, and it creates this higher low. And so this trend line is established now. It's established now because it bounced there. So the next time it does that, you're looking for another bounce. And what happened? You got that bounce. You got that bounce right here. Okay? Right in front of you. Okay? And you continue to see these high lows. Profit taking creates a higher low, more bounce. Resistance here because it fell here. You see that right there? It fell here. All right? Fell right there. Resistance. Still drop back right here. That last demand level of support where it bounced and went higher. It mimicked that, came back, reset. All right. Breakout, pullback. It's all over the place. All right. Came back to retest these highs. Breakout. Now there's a possibility that BMNR can do a breakout, pullback. And that's what you want to see. These repeat patterns. Wait for a break. Maybe possibly wherever the profit will be taken. We can't assume that it'll drop now. We got to see what happens overnight or what happens tomorrow. But this is what you want to look for, anticipating the move. All right, this is what you want to look for, anticipating the move, for it to fall back towards these levels to create another higher low. All right, because we're a little bit overbought, and that's what you want to think about. All right, so moving on along to Amazon. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Sometimes this could be drawn out, but these things really, really matter. All right, Amazon. All right, now I do have the chart on the quarterly. I like the quarterly. The quarterly is bullish. Like, come on, what are we doing here? Like, what are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? That's bullish on the quarterly time frame. Amazon got some bullish flow to it. Of course, it's on one of those staples. It's the Mag 7. You want to check the balance sheet on that on Amazon. Are they profitable? Do they have debt? Do they have moat characteristics? Right? A service or business that nobody can take away from them, right? It's patent. Some things to think about for long term. All right. So Amazon is making a technical shape as well, making a curl. All right. Prices coming off of these lows. All right. And so I'm bullish on Amazon. And once to retest these highs, 240, the rate cuts are going to be affecting a whole lot of things. And so this is the same story. Entry day. All right. Right here on entry day. Okay. Got the same story. Breakout and pullbacks. All right. There's a chance that Amazon can retest some of these lows, especially if we break these trend lines. All right. I like to be intuitive. All right. I've been doing this a while. Mechanical, intuitive, subjective. But if you understand where price could go, you always wait for pullbacks if you're not in, and you never chase. And this is pattern recognition. And so you just wanna understand simple structure, right? And notice things that, like overhead resistance, we're resisting right here. We also got a trend line. If it breaks structure, we go into the downside to retest these lows here. But if it breaks above, man, that's a lot of pressure. That's the rally back towards the upside to retest the highs next week. I will be replaying this. All right, this is not a glitch. I will replay this and recap this when it happens. Today's 9/16 at 4:14 p.m. All right, thanks for checking out this commentary on Amazon. All right, you want to wait for price to open up the next day tomorrow. All right, it needs to open up above 234.04, and it already is above it, and that is bullish. You understand? All right, now let me double back. Right. Tesla, BMNR, Amazon, SPY. You already know. That's what we went over. That's what we're talking about. And so it's interesting to see some of these catalysts coming. All right. Not really worried too much about the data that's coming out. Like I said, that's just noise. So you guys just need to be prepared. All right, if you really want to join a group, somebody who's prepared, somebody who's been there for you, all right, over these past couple of months, you see the growth, you see the consistency, why don't you hop over, right, to the unique trading group. That link is below. We would love to have you, right? Join a thriving community, all right? We don't just talk about making money, all right? We talk about things that are important to you, that would matter, that help you find consistency. So I would love to know where you are. Come join the group. We got a 6-step beginner phase for you in there. We got a couple of tiers. All right. If you're just new, if you're immediate, all right, we would love to have you. Now, be prepared tomorrow. Don't want to leave you dry. Tomorrow's the 17th, and we have economic data at 10:30. All right, got that conference. All right, get ready for Powell at 2:00. That's right, the federal funds rate and the FOMC economic projections. We already know that the rates are baked in. We know what kind of basis points are going to be cut when it comes to interest rates. We already know. All right, it's not going to be more than what it was. Don't quote me. I think it's 50. It could be 25 basis points, but that is what's going on, and that is what is being baked in to price. And I'm very happy to see here a couple of market eternals on the market, like a HYG, right? This is currently falling here. This could be really, really bad for tomorrow. All right, so I'm also bullish, but I'm also waiting for a pullback. Very, very cautious of what can happen. This is quadruple witching week. All right, remember, this is quadruple witching week. A lot of volatility, and so the market is due for a pullback. But I never front run it. So tomorrow's going to be very interesting. I have orders on the market. All right, tomorrow, if I'm in profit with anything, I'm going to be taking a profit and watching and day trading and assessing what's going on, not putting on risk when I don't have to. Remember that the best trade is no trade. Remember that sometimes the best trade is no trade. So if you're busy, you're new, a little skeptical about trading stock options specifically, you're exactly who I help. All right, I'm Coach UV. This is the unique trading group where strategy meets mindset and discipline turns into income. I love the fact that you guys came and you stuck around. And for that, if you want to get my free ebook, drop me a fire emoji and just say I do, or whatever you want to say, and I'll send you a link to get the free ebook that I wrote for the trading community. How about that? Appreciate you guys' time. All right, be on the lookout for the next drops that I have. I got some exclusive drops for you. Okay, listen, this has been great. Until the next time, guys. Peace.